self-defense, or murder. Contested footage and outrage after ICE agent fatally shoots woman in Minneapolis. A controversial shooting involving U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, in Minneapolis has ignited national debate, protests, and political fury after a federal agent fatally shot a 37-year-old woman during an enforcement operation on Wednesday. The incident occurred in the central neighborhood of Minneapolis near East 34th Street and Portland Avenue during a targeted immigration operation under the Trump administration's expanded crackdown. Federal officials assert the shooting was an act of self-defense. Local leaders and community members say the video evidence contradicts that account. Conflicting accounts of what happened. According to the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, ICE agents were engaged in operations when violent rioters began blocking officers, and a woman in a vehicle attempted to run over federal agents, prompting an ICE officer to fire in what the department labeled defensive shots. Federal officials have depicted the driver's actions as an intentional threat that justified the use of deadly force. President Donald Trump shared video on Truth Social, describing the driver as disorderly and alleging she violently and willfully ran over an officer before being shot. However, multiple bystander videos analyzed by ABC Verify tell a more complex story. In widely shared footage, a maroon SUV is seen stopped across the roadway, with several ICE agents approaching on foot. Agents are heard demanding the driver exit the vehicle. The SUV briefly moves in reverse and then inches forward with its wheels turning to the right, not directly toward the agent who ultimately fired. The agent fires 3 shots into the vehicle at close range, with at least 1 shot after the SUV's front bumper had passed him. It remains unclear whether the vehicle ever made contact with the agent, and the precise motivation behind the driver's movements is being scrutinized. Victim's identity and immediate aftermath. City officials and local media have identified the woman as Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old resident of Minneapolis with family in the area. Emergency responders attempted to administer aid at the scene, but she was later pronounced dead at a hospital. Public reaction has been swift. Demonstrators have protested near the site of the shooting and in other cities, at times clashing with federal agents, as questions mount about federal law enforcement's tactics. Political backlash and local condemnation. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has been particularly outspoken, rejecting the federal narrative as misleading. He claims the video does not support the notion that the agent was in imminent danger and has demanded that ICE get the F*** out of Minneapolis. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz echoed these sentiments, calling the operation dangerous and sensationalized, warning that heightened federal enforcement posed a threat to public safety. He has ordered preparations to mobilize the state's National Guard in response to unrest stemming from the shooting. Senator Tina Smith described Good as a U.S. citizen and emphasized the need for a full investigation, while other Democratic leaders criticized what they see as the administration's rush to present a self-defense justification. National implications and ongoing debate. The shooting has intensified an already heated national debate over immigration enforcement, use of force by federal agencies, and transparency around law enforcement actions. Analysts note that the incident adds to a broader pattern of confrontations during the Trump administration's expanded immigration operations in cities across the country. Law enforcement authorities, including the FBI and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, are now involved in joint investigations with state officials to clarify the events that led to the fatal encounter. As Minnesota and the nation grapple with the fallout, questions linger over whether the use of deadly force was justified and whether federal policies and tactics aimed at immigration enforcement are compatible with community safety and civil liberties.